Good afternoon, Anju.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon,
Oh,
everyone.
okay. Yes, good afternoon, Anju. You want to check anything here?
Yeah, probably let me just
Okay.
save the sharing. Everything works. Okay. Let me know once you see the screen
That's fine. Yes.
visible, right? Okay.
Yes. Okay. Let us wait for 5 minutes more for all
Hmm.
the participants to join.
Okay.
Is that
Sure.
fine with you?
Yes, I'm good with that.
Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. We now begin the first technical session of day.
Parvati, can
Yes,
we wait
ma'am.
for 5 more minutes?
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Parvati, we can start the session now.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. We now begin the first technical session of day 6 of the 6th-day ATAL-sponsored online faculty development program on advancements in cloud and edge computing, research and industry perspectives, organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Adi Shankara Institute of Engineering and Technology. The first session of the day focuses on a critically important topic, which is security in cloud, which addresses the challenges, best practices, and strategies required to ensure secure cloud-based systems and applications. It is my privilege to introduce our first resource person for the day, Ms. Anju JD, who serves as Cybersecurity Manager at Ernst & Young. Ma'am brings with her strong industry experience in cybersecurity governance, risk management, and cloud security solutions. Her session will provide valuable insights into securing cloud environments in today's dynamic threat landscape. Ma'am, we are honored to have you with us today. I kindly invite you to take over the session and share your expertise on security in cloud. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Parvati. Thank you. And good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for joining the session. So I'll just share my screen and then we'll get started. Prior to that, I'll just introduce myself. Like Parvati already have given a sweet nutshell of my overall experience, but I'll just elaborate a little bit more. So I'm Anju JD. So currently working as a cybersecurity manager in EY GDS. GDS means Global Delivery Service, right? And I work in the Trivandrum office in Kerala, right? Now, my experience, I had come with almost more than 13 years of experience, and it's majorly in EY. I would say that's the only company I have served so far. But yeah, I've worked on different domains within the cybersecurity itself, right? So started with the information security management system, auditing, risk assessments, third-party management assessments and all. And then I moved to the cloud security. So majorly worked on the Azure, then AWS and kind of on the GCP side also. And for the past, I would say 1 to 2 years, I'm mostly focusing on the AI security. Like when I say AI security, like securing the AI platform as well as like how do we leverage AI for the cybersecurity, right? So the reason why I went on to that is because like AI and cloud will go hand in hand. So it becomes relatable to kind of go to the AI security field as well. So with that, I'll just start my presentation. Let me share my screen. Let me know once you see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so today we're going to discuss about security in cloud. So it's going to be a high level thing, right? I'll talk about the different platforms we have so far in the market. Why is it relevant to have security in cloud, right? And what are the new things which has come in the market, right? I mean, every day new technologies are coming in, but I'll be covering mostly the different high level platforms that is governing the security in cloud. Okay. Now with that, I'll just move on to the agenda. So these are the different topics today I'll be taking it. So starting with now why do we require security in the cloud and then the hybrid multi-cloud security challenges? Then moving on to the security services on a high level do you require to kind of secure the different components of a cloud environment? That's what is the cloud security solution cornerstones. And then we move to the protection platform suite, right? CNAB. We'll cover on a high level what CNAB is, CWBP is, CSPM, SSPM, and then we move to the CASB, which is another yet very important topic. Then the zero trust, which is the evolving kind of demand based on the current environment we have in the cloud. And then to the cloud data security. Basically, we'll be covering the data sovereignty and everything. So that will be the high level content we'll be covering for today. Now, with that, we'll go to the fifth topic. So, prior to moving to the hybrid or the multi-cloud, security challenges, I just want to kind of, go through the shared responsibility model. As most of you might be aware that in a cloud we have different compute service models, right? IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, right? And of course we have the on-prem, which is still there. Then you have the private cloud also. Now when it comes to on-prem on the private cloud, it's the whole responsibility, right? Let's say if I own a private cloud, I'll be taking care of the end-to-end responsibility, starting from physical security until the access control, everything, right? Now, when it comes to IaaS, infrastructure as a service, right? There, what we do is like, the cloud provider will be providing the data center, physical security, the server, storage, network, everything, right? And with respect to the metadata, the virtualization, OS, and everything will fall under the um, will be the cloud, the customer's responsibility, right? Now, for the PaaS, again, on top of the server storage, you will have the OS capability, database, and the middleware capability also adding to that. And for the SaaS, it will be mostly like a fully functional thing, right? You will have you will have the application, everything managed over there on the SaaS. Right? I could hear somebody talking. If you can go on mute. Okay, thanks. Hello?
Dear participants, can you please mute your mic?
Ms. Anju, you please proceed with your presentation.
Okay.
The background things and all will be taken care by your coordinators and admins. They'll
Okay,
take care
sure.
of it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. All right. So the SaaS, like I said, it will be more of a fully functional kind of a software as a service, right? Now, in terms of the security, also there will be a shared responsibility model, right? Now, like when it comes to IaaS, right, the server storage network it will be a shared model between the customer and the vendor, the CSP vendor, right? Now, when it comes to PaaS, the security will be shared for the runtime, the database, operating system, and all. The rest of the things will be taken care by the cloud provider itself, right? In the above, all the light blue ones, of course, it will has to be taken care by the cloud consumer. Now, for the SaaS, again, the cloud provider will mostly take care of, I would say, more than 60% of the security. They will be responsible for the same. But in terms of the data security or the overall application security, will again be a shared model. So this is a typical kind of a shared responsibility model, which is being, leveraged across all the CSPs, right? So with that, we'll go to the main topics. Okay. Now, first thing I want to discuss about is why do we require security in cloud, right? See, cloud is one of the most, used technology, widely used technology across the globe, and it is the fastest growing technology, right? Although we have now AI, the buzzword across the world, but still, cloud is something would always remain, and that's the underlining also, right? Infrastructure. So, like every other product you see, right? It is the data will be there in the cloud itself. The product element, everything is happening in the cloud. Now, like we don't want that data to fall on wrong hands, right? So in order to ensure that, a security needs to be enabled. So we do have these legal, regulatory, the laws and everything in place, but we need to ensure that it is being enforced and drill down into fine-grained security controls, right? Now, for that, the security revolves around the core principle, right? This the triad, right? The CIA triad, right? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, what do you mean by confidentiality, right? Your data needs to be accessed only by the authorized users, right? You don't want unauthorized users to access it. That is confidentiality. Now, integrity means you don't want your data to be tampered or somebody coming and destroying it, right? So, integrity of the data. Now, you have the availability of the data. Like, your data needs to be available to the authorized person whenever they want to see it, right? For which you need, like, that's why we call it as, okay, we need the backup, you need to have the redundancy, everything enabled, right? So it all revolves around the CI principle. Now, like, be it a single CSP or if it is a hybrid model. When I say hybrid model, right, you have the on-prem something and you have something on the cloud, and then you're connecting it. That becomes a hybrid, right? Or multi-cloud environment, you have something, let's say, in Azure and something in AWS interconnecting. The application works in that environment. That is a multi-cloud environment. Yeah, there are different challenges, right? These are very high-level challenges I've put in. That is a reason why we need security, right? Like, for example, decentralized administration, right? When you are using a cloud service provider for your application, which is getting integrated onto your on-prem, right? There will be a lot of identity related, concerns. Not like concerns, I would say a lot of type of access accounts and everything would be there. Now, how do you manage them, right? If you have some security being enabled onto your on-prem, that might not really work for the cloud. There will be a difference in how to enable it on the cloud, right? Then the compliance management. Compliance management, as in, like, the cloud will have their own compliance management and the on-prem will be different, right? So you need to bridge it, right? Bridging it and applying uniform security controls across, through the APIs and everything becomes really relevant. Now, the threat detection, timely threat detection and response is a very, very important topic, or like one of the main security pillar, I would say, within the cyber, right? So it becomes really important and a little bit more complex when it comes to managing a hybrid or a multi-cloud environment, right? Network connections needs to be enabled. You will have, separate data which is being created within the cloud itself. How do you, which the CSPs only will have visibility to that, right? And, like, whether how the data is being secured and everything, you don't have that visibility, right? So all these are the different challenges which we come across. So these are the couple of questions which generally people have it in mind when you're dealing with such kind of scenarios, right? Like, am I compliant? Are my host and containers secure? My VM secure, right? Is my application related data secure, right? So all these questions, like, arise, and that led to the development on so many security tools, capabilities, which is right now available in the market. So with that, we'll move on to the next one, which is cloud security solution cornerstones. This is just a reference slide I've kept in. So basically, the idea is that within the cloud itself, right, you have different sections or components, right? You have the workplace component. You need to manage the SaaS, like third party vendors, everything. You need to make sure you're securing your DevOps, the pipelines, CI/CD, CD pipelines, uh, with respect to the data sovereignty. Now, what are the different high level security services which are available, right? These are not specific service names I've given. It's basically, I would call it as like security domains, which will fall or which can be tagged to these kind of components. Okay. And I've just kept like an overview about the very the most commonly used technologies, right? It's just very few I have kept it, but there are more. So just for your awareness that these are the different security tools or the vendors which are providing security services also as part of their main suite. So yeah, so out of this, yes, definitely we will be covering most of the areas in the coming slides. So we'll look into it. Yeah. And yeah, with that, we'll move on to the next session. which is the cloud security posture management. Now, before going on to the cloud security posture management, there is something called CNAP. CNAP means the Cloud Native Application Protection Platform. Okay, you can call it as an umbrella that provides a comprehensive cybersecurity protection coverage covering the entire cloud, right? Be it the infrastructure or be it the workloads. Now, what is cloud security posture management? Now, the main intention of having the cloud security posture management is to ensure security posture and compliance of the cloud environment, infrastructure especially. So, when I say infrastructure, means it's covering the entire, the networking. Everything will come into picture, not the individual workloads, right? So you can consider it as like. So there is a simple analogy when I was actually searching in the Google, it gave like you have a house. So the first defense will be your main door and the windows, right? So CSPM can be considered as a main door or the window for your cloud. Okay. So it is giving you, it is ensuring that security, compliance, and everything, and also act as a protection. It's giving you a proactive, security rather than reactive security, right? So, so when I say protection, like it will also detect the misconfigurations within the cloud in the infra. Once they detect the misconfiguration, it will also provide you remediation to fix those misconfiguration, right? So when it says remediation, it's not just a liner, it is giving you step-by-step remediation process to be followed. Okay. So in cyber, we say that we should always approach with shift from left. That means when you see, traditionally what people used to think is that they develop one product or an application, and after that they'll think about the security, right? That's not the ideal way. That's not going to work, right? Shift from left means the moment you start building an application or a product, you integrate security onto it. You start, adding the data security controls or the access related controls or the network related controls, right? So it becomes easy for you to kind of track it down. Where is the flaw happening? Where is the vulnerability happening, right? So, so with that, like, the CSPM has different pillars, which you can see here on a high level, right? Every CSPM solution will have their own terminologies being used, but in general, these are the different security, pillars they have it. The first one being the DevSecOps, right? Now, DevSecOps means it's basically securing your DevOps lifecycle, right? The CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous testing, right? Continuous monitoring, right? That's when the log monitoring, everything come into picture, API security, all these things. Now, earlier, when we're using the cloud, right, it was all manual. You'll have to go to let's say you log into an Azure portal, right? You'll have to manually go and create a virtual machine or create a storage account, right? Containers and everything. Right now, we are moving, or I would say it is more matured, and now we are moving on to a cloud automation era. We've already moved, I would say. Now we are no longer going with that manual go click, click, click like that. Now there is something called as infrastructure as a code and all, which is basically cloud automations, right? Something called Terraform codes, cloud formation templates, like that. You have many scripting mechanism that will help you to easily set up an infrastructure. Earlier it used to take hours to kind of deploy multiple, services within a cloud. Now it is a matter of minutes or seconds, right? So so we call it as these IAC templates. So we need to so the cloud security posture management suite will help in securing those codes also. When I say securing the codes, it will ensure that when you're deploying an infrastructure, are the security controls being embedded onto that IACs, right? Like you're not just simply deploying in a VM, but how do you securely deploy a VM? Like, for example, are you ensuring that encryption is enabled? Like, or, the public access is restricted, right? Whether the tagging is being enabled. So all these things are being integrated onto this code itself, right? So that is a DevSecOps. You have the cloud threat protection, right? In the CSPM, you can come up with different policies, right? That will, the policies are meant to be a, I would say, a detective mechanism, right? If somebody tries to deploy a misconfigured kind of a service, right, the policy will detect it. With respect to that particular configuration, if there is a policy, it will detect it and it will stop deployment of that particular service, right? So all you can build the CSPM generally comes with inbuilt policies altogether based on the security baselines from various um, I would say the industrial best practices, right? You can take it from the CIS benchmark or the CCA metrics and all. There are so many security standards which are widely available in the market, and they've taken the best security controls, and the CSPM runs in that. So according to those inbuilt policy, so much of misconfiguration can be detected and it can be remediated also. It will implement the guardrails and everything, right? Then you have the asset discovery and identification, right? There are different, cloud services which is being leveraged. It will help you in uh, detecting what is the risk level of leveraging these cloud services, right? Whether they are being properly configured. If some risk is there, it will check for the risk. It will check for what is the rating of the risk. Accordingly, what is the remediation you have to take it. Everything is being shown by the CSPM, right? And automatic remediation capability is also there. Matter of some simple scripting, few clicks, yes, automatic remediation also happens, right, for multiple services at the same time, right? Then cloud governance compliance, like regulatory compliance and everything. The CSPM comes with all this inbuilt capabilities. And then you have the cloud data protection according to the the data privacy regulations. You have the GDPR, you have the CIPRA, right? Then the data loss protection. And one of the most attracted component right now with the CSPM solution is the AISPM. Not every other CSPM tools will have it. I can say, like, there is a tool called WIS, which is being commonly used, and like we have. I work in EY, so we have a lot of clients which are kind of leveraging this kind of tools, and it comes with a very good capability of security posture management for AI related application, right? So that is giving that, especially AI supply chain security is a very um, critical topic wherein people are very much concerned when in terms of using several AI vendors. How do we ensure that our data is secured in their environment because we are using their AI tools, right? So all this detection and anomaly detection mechanism is being provided by the AISPM part of the CSPM tools, right? So CSPM is a very widely used topic within the cloud security. Not even cloud security, when somebody, we have the departments wherein people are building application in the cloud. There also the CSPM is a very, very important topic for them, right? So that is the high level overview of CSPM. And this is how the integration or the typical component of a CSPM will look like. So basically, you have your cloud subscription or the tenant, you integrate it with the CSPM tool, right? And then all the policies and everything will get triggered, right? Accordingly, it will check for the continuous, real time, continuous monitoring of the misconfiguration, any threats, real time detection of the threats, everything is being um, captured in the CSPM tool, and accordingly, people can take decision whether um, you know we can remediate it, automatically remediate it, or you want to manually interfere it and remediate for only few. Sometimes you will have the legacy systems and everything, right? So you need to take a decision on that. So all these things, it gives you the flexibility to do all these things, right? And now with AI capabilities also, it can give you in-depth analysis, very detailed analysis also it is giving us, right? So that is more about the CSPM tool. Now, under the CNAP, we have another pillar, which is called the Cloud Workload Protection Platform. What now? The name, as the name suggests, right? It is taking care of the security in workload. Remember, I gave you a simple example, right? Like CSPM is basically the door or the windows of a typical house. Now, the workload protection means it's the security of the individuals within that house or the different, you know, objects or things which is present in the house, right? So that is called the workloads, right? Now, so now when it comes to CWPP, right? Mainly it takes care of like the workloads like the virtual machines, containers, serverless, and everything. Now, what does it really take care of? The core features of it. It gives you the visibility of the different activities being done by the various workloads, right? Real time monitoring. It gives a capability of scanning through those workloads to understand any misconfigurations or vulnerability, right? During the deployment or post deployment. Then threat detection, right? It's more of a reactive way of approaching it. It's not a protective, like proactive way of approach. Whenever some threat is detected, yeah, that's why that's when the analysis and everything happens, and remediation as such won't work over there. That you'll have to manually do it. But yeah, reactive approach is what has been taken care by a typical cloud workload protection platform. It gives you the runtime protection, right? Ideas, intrusion detection system mechanisms, and all micro segmentation, right? Isolate the networks based on identity based controls, and this will limit the lateral movement of the threads, right? So micro segmentations and the feature, and of course on a high level note, regulatory standards compliance to that also it will check. So these are different features given by the cloud workload protection platform. Now, the next one, this is a really important topic, the SSPM. Now, why I'm saying this is because even currently SSPM in our projects and everything also SSPM is on high demand, especially when it comes to managing the AI based SaaS vendors and all. Every other customers are very much eager to understand how they can manage these AI based SaaS solutions and all, right? So there are a couple of products which are coming into the market which provides that kind of capability, right? So AI based products are also coming in which give in-depth analysis and all. So when you are connecting your application, let's say you have an application in AWS and you are connecting to a SaaS based product, right? Your data is being processed by the SaaS